Hi guys, my name is Mera and I switched to Gentoo Linux finally. So I pulled the trigger. I want to switch to Gentoo Linux since I think 2022, but I had an older PC. So I did try on that older PC and it works really great. It was an old PC but not that bad actually. The problem is that after like 20 days I broke it. So I switched back to Arch Linux and didn't go back to Gentoo because reason I didn't want to actually use my PC. It was an old one, so compile everything wasn't a great choice, but that's totally fine. With a new PC, I decided to actually install CacheOS first. I used it for a year, and for me it was the best Arch Linux distro I ever tried. It was blazingly fast with everything basically. But still, I want to try Gentoo. Now that I actually finished my study on my university, I decided to actually install Gentoo. It took me like 4 hours, nothing fancy. To be honest, my PC is actually not that bad. And also because I'm using Hyprland and not something like GNOME or KDE, it was faster because of that. But as you can see, I'm not using the official kernel from Gentoo Linux, but the CacheOS one, because I think it's the best kernel from my PC. I use about like 4 to 5 kernel in this PC, and for the little benchmark I did, nothing fancy, the CacheOS one was better by a mile. So I decided to actually use the CacheOS one on Gentoo. You can actually compile it, there is a repository for this. Then I want to talk about the package manager. The package manager is actually amazing portage. With portage, you basically compile everything and merge everything in the system. This is my mac.conf. It's nothing fancy. It's basically the example one with some stuff that I edit, basically the common flags. I use Smash native, so it use my CPU. For the Rust flags, because I compile some Rust stuff for some application, I put CPU native. The makeup ETS, I put 16 J16 because I have 32 gig of RAM, and I have 8 threads and 8 cores, so I put here L6. I can probably put here 8 if I want, but I don't want to stress my CPU much, and honestly, I don't think it's negligible. Whatever. For the use case, I put Network Manager because I prefer to use Network Manager. Yes, you can do a more minimal stuff if you use VPS supplicant or whatever, but I rather use Network Manager. I still have VPS supplicant for other stuff, but Network Manager is basically for me. Then I put minus GNOME because I don't want any GNOME stuff despite the fact that I'm using Nautilus. Minus GDM because I'm using SDDM, I don't want to install GDM. And minus systemd because I'm using OpenRC. I'm not using systemd anymore. And honestly, it's not because I don't want to use systemd. I'm not the elitist that I think systemd is bloat or whatever. I don't care. Systemd is fine. It works. It's just I want to try something different. That's all. Nothing different that you normally experience when you try some other distro. And also distribution kernel. This one was default, so I didn't want to actually change it. Honestly, because here it says please keep these settings intact when reporting bugs, so I didn't change it. For the accept license, I say all. Yes, it's not good to say all for everything, but whatever. For the Glove platform, because I'm using Grub, yes, I can probably use systemd boot, I can probably use fstab and other stuff, but I always use Grub on any distro, so I rather use Grub. It works so wherever. Accept keywords, I'm using AMD64 because reason. And this one are all the package that I use here. I mean, it's not a lot. I put the CPU flags because I use the handbook in order to install Gentoo, not a YouTube video. I don't recommend to actually use a YouTube video, not because it's not great, because you can use a YouTube video you're probably going to install it anyway. But because the handbook is so goddamn good that you need to read it. It's honestly very, very good. For the CPU flags, for the video cards, for DaVinci Resolve, for the SF repository, for gaming basically Steam and Lutris, because I use these two, and the Heroic. But for Heroic, I installed the binary packages because I didn't want to compile that. Because I don't use Heroic that much. So I didn't want to actually waste my CPU power for a launcher, that's all. In that case. Install kernel for the kernel, Mercurial I think it was for the kernel, Mesa for the driver, and Rockcam for DaVinci Resolve. Mono because I'm a game developer, I'm aspiring game developer. So I'm using Unity, and I need Mono, and then .NET because I'm using C#. Nautilus is the file manager, OBS Studio with basically CAF for the browser source, Pipewire, MBRC. Portal is the thing that I need in order to screencast my screen, use Flatpak and other stuff. Python, this one is for the Python targets. setd because I'm using OpenRC and Hyprland needs a setd and a login d in order to make it work. And Wine because I'm using Wine staging for some application. I probably need to actually put this kind of stuff in like 1 or 2 files, so it's better, but for now I'm just learning Gentoo, and for now everything works as correctly. As I said before, I have all the application that I had on CacheOS, so basically DaVinci Resolve. This one is not a studio version because it didn't work at all, and also because I don't have the studio version. Whatever. So I'm using the base version, it works as intended. Telegram, when it's compiled. Flatsil for Flatpak because I'm still using Flatpak apps even on Gentoo. I don't care because Flatpak is good, it's amazing actually, so I'm gonna use it anyway. GTK settings for the GTK stuff. OBS Studio, it works as intended without any problem. Desktop, GIMP, Lutris, Blender 5.0. This one is bloody fast, it's faster than CacheOS, I don't know how. Other stuff that I use Steam obviously for gaming. The only game I tried was Resident Evil 4 Remake and it works, but I think every single game will work just fine as CacheOS. Unity Hub, this one is the Flatpak version because the compiled one didn't work for the file manager. Every time I tried to use the file manager with Unity Hub, it will crash. So the Flatpak version works as intended, I'm gonna use that. I don't care. ZapZap is a WhatsApp desktop client for Linux. Why did it say like that? Linux, sorry. It's with Flatpak, it works as intended, it's really good, I'm gonna use it. Could be Torrent, is a torrent client. Rider, I use this for my game development, even though it's not working like CacheOS, but I think it's on me this, I don't know. Visual Studio Code, if this doesn't work, I'm gonna switch back to Visual Studio Code, even though some people actually recommend me on Discord Z editor. I will probably try it out anyway, whatever. This one is basically, in order to customize Steam, I installed this ADW Steam GTK, ADW Steam GTK with Flatpak. It's a simple wrapper, nothing fancy, and it works great. Okay, document viewer for the PDF style. Because I'm using Nautilus, this one is mandatory. I can delete it. So whatever, I still need the PDF viewer. I use Datura all the time, but because this is mandatory, I'm gonna stick with this without any problem. GitHub Desktop, okay. iTail Launcher for iTail, this one is Flatpak. Mozilla Firefox, I'm using the Beam version, even though I can compile it if I wanted. But because I need a browser fast, I use the Beam version, I don't care. MPV Media Player, you know the drill. Proton App for Wine and Proton Base compatibility tools, BitOp, Nautilus, Heroic, and basically JetBrains to Toolbox and Kitty, whatever. The same application I had on CacheOS. I still need to install some other stuff like some emulator and other stuff that I had. For now, the only thing that I install is RPC S3, just because I want to play some PS3 stuff. nothing fancy, but everything works as intended. The sound works, the Bluetooth, it works because I'm using the Bluetooth for my soundbar, and even for my controller. Wi-Fi works, network works, sound works as I said before without any problem. So this one is now just it's fucking fast. It's faster than HS for some reason. I don't know why. This one is so strange because it should be the same speed. It should be the same speed, but for some reason I think that Gentoo is faster in some stuff. Uh, as I said before, DaVinci Resolve works as intended. I don't have any type of problem. I already tried for some stuff. And it's incredible because a lot of people say that this application doesn't work properly on Gentoo. But I don't know why. I installed it. I installed the Rockcam thing like every single distro I tried before, and it did work. The only thing that I needed to change, because this one is not a studio version, the GPU selection was on auto and it did actually take the CPU. So I switched back to the main display GPU and whatever. So I can even export if I want in MP4. Unfortunately with MPV, but still it's MP4. It's not MOV, so whatever. And also IPv is not that bad actually. And that's about it. So if you wanna know how I study Gentoo, I use the handbook. If you want to know why I'm not going back to Arch Linux or the distro, because I really like the portage stuff. And that's about it. So bye bye guys. If you like this video, leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe to my channel, and all the other good stuff you will find on my YouTube channel. I have plenty of videos about Linux that are ready to watch if you want. So bye bye.